as a specialist in understanding human connection, attraction, and emotional dynamics. If you want to master the art of relationships and take control of your love life, you're in the right place. Let's get started. Let's cut through the noise for a second. How long does it really take for a woman to develop feelings for you? Is it days, weeks, months, or does it happen the moment you buy her dinner? Here's the hard truth. Most men have no clue. And worse, they're out here making emotional decisions, overthinking texts, and wasting time trying to figure her out. But what if I told you that the answer has less to do with her and everything to do with you? Yes, you heard that right. Women don't develop feelings based on some magical timeline. It's not about how many dates you take her on or how many compliments you throw her way. It's about how you carry yourself, your energy, and your ability to stay grounded in your own purpose. This is where Stoicism comes in. Stoicism, the ancient philosophy of self-control and emotional mastery, teaches us that the only thing we can control is ourselves. And guess what? That's the key to understanding how women develop feelings. It's not about chasing her emotions, it's about becoming the kind of man who naturally inspires those emotions. But here's the controversial part. Most men are doing it all wrong. They're too focused on her feelings, her reactions, and her approval. They're bending over backward to make her like them, and in the process, they're losing themselves. And women, they can sense that desperation from a mile away. So, let's flip the scenario. In this video, we're not going to talk about how to manipulate her emotions or play games. Instead, we're going to dive into the principles of Stoicism and how they can help you become the kind of man who doesn't just attract women, but keeps them emotionally invested. By the end of this, you'll understand why women's feelings aren't a mystery to be solved, but a response to the energy you bring. Feelings aren't logical. Why women don't follow a timeline. Let's get one thing straight. Women's feelings don't operate on a schedule. You can't set a timer and expect her to fall for you after 3 dates, 7 texts, or 21 days. Why? Because emotions aren't logical. They don't follow rules, formulas, or timelines. And if you're sitting there trying to calculate how long it'll take for her to catch feelings, you're already missing the point. Here's the truth. Women are emotional beings, but their emotions are often a response to your energy, your actions, and your presence. Think about it. Have you ever met a guy who just gets it? He's not overthinking. He's not trying too hard. And yet, women are drawn to him. That's because he's not focused on her feelings. He's focused on being the best version of himself. And that's what sparks attraction. Let me break it down further. Women don't develop feelings based on how much you do for them. Sure, buying her gifts or planning fancy dates might make her happy in the moment, but it won't make her feel deeply connected to you. Real feelings come from how you make her feel about herself when she's around you. Does she feel safe, respected, inspired, or does she feel like you're just another guy trying to win her over? Here's an example. Imagine 2 men. The first guy takes her to expensive dinners, texts her every day, and tells her how beautiful she is. But he's nervous, always seeking her approval and constantly asking, "Do you like me?" The second guy? He's calm, confident, and doesn't feel the need to impress her. He listens more than he talks, and when he does speak, it's with purpose. He's not chasing her, he's living his life. And she's intrigued by that. Who do you think she's going to develop feelings for? The first guy might get her attention, but the second guy will get her heart. Why? Because he's not trying to control her emotions or force a connection. He's just being himself. And that authenticity is what draws her in. So, if you're out here wondering, how long will it take for her to like me? You're asking the wrong question. The real question is, what kind of man are you showing up as? Are you someone who inspires respect, admiration, and emotional connection? Or are you just another guy hoping she'll give you a chance? Remember, her feelings aren't something you can control or predict. But what you can control is how you show up. Focus on being the kind of man who naturally attracts her emotions, and the timeline won't even matter. The Stoic man's edge. How emotional control attracts her. Here's a hard truth. Women can smell desperation from a mile away. If you're constantly anxious, overthinking, or trying to prove your worth to her, she's not going to feel attracted to you. Why? Because emotional chaos is a turn-off. What she's drawn to is a man who's in control, not of her, but of himself. This is where Stoicism gives you the ultimate edge. Stoicism teaches you to master your emotions, not let them master you. It's about staying calm, focused, and grounded, no matter what's happening around you. And guess what? That kind of energy is magnetic. Think about it. When a man is emotionally stable, it creates a sense of safety and security. Women naturally gravitate toward that because it shows strength, confidence, and reliability. It's not about being cold or emotionless, it's about being in control. And that control is what makes her feel like she can trust you, rely on you, and yes, develop feelings for you. Let's paint a picture. Imagine you're on a date, and she brings up an ex, or mentions something that could easily trigger jealousy or insecurity in most guys. The average man might get defensive, start over-explaining, or even try to one-up her story. But the Stoic man, he listens calmly, doesn't react emotionally, and keeps the conversation light and engaging. He doesn't feel threatened because he knows his worth isn't tied to her past or her opinions. That kind of emotional control is rare and it's incredibly attractive. It shows her that you're not easily shaken, that you're secure in who you are, and that you're someone she can lean on. And that's exactly what makes her feelings start to grow. Here's the kicker. Emotional control isn't about suppressing your feelings. It's about understanding them, managing them, and not letting them dictate your actions. When you can do that, you become the kind of man who doesn't just attract women, you keep them emotionally invested. So if you want her to develop feelings for you, stop worrying about what she's thinking or feeling, focus on mastering your own emotions, be the calm in the storm, the rock she can rely on. That's the Stoic man's edge, and it's what will set you apart from every other guy trying to win her over. Stop chasing, start leading. Why desperation kills attraction? Let's talk about something most men don't want to admit. Chasing doesn't work. In fact, it does the opposite of what you want. The more you chase, the more you push her away. Why? Because chasing reeks of desperation, and desperation is the ultimate attraction killer. Think about it. When you're chasing her, what are you really saying? I need you to like me. I need your approval. I need you to validate me. And guess what? That's not attractive, it's needy, it's weak. And women can feel it even if you're trying to hide it. Here's the thing, women don't want a man who's constantly seeking their validation. They want a man who's confident in himself, who knows his worth, and who doesn't need her or anyone else to feel complete. They want a leader, not a follower. And when you're chasing her, you're not leading, you're following. So what does leading look like? It's about setting the tone, taking initiative, and being the one who guides the interaction. It's not about controlling her or dictating what she should do. It's about being clear in your intentions, confident in your actions, and unshaken by her reactions. For example, let's say you text her and she doesn't reply right away. The average guy might panic. He might double text, overthink, or start wondering what he did wrong. But the man who's leading, he doesn't sweat it. He knows his value isn't tied to her response. He's busy living his life, pursuing his goals, and being the best version of himself. And that's exactly what makes her want to respond. Here's the truth. When you stop chasing and start leading, you shift the dynamic. Instead of being the one who's trying to win her over, you become the one she's trying to win over. And that's where real attraction happens. But let's be real, this isn't easy. It requires you to let go of the need for control, to stop worrying about what she's thinking or feeling, and to focus on yourself. It requires you to be okay with the possibility that she might not like you, and to be confident enough to walk away if she doesn't. And that's the key. When you're okay with walking away, you take back your power. You show her that you're not desperate, that you're not needy, that you're not going to settle for less than you deserve. And that's the kind of man she's going to develop feelings for. So if you want her to feel something for you, stop chasing her. Start leading. Be the man who's confident, grounded, and unshakable. Be the man who doesn't need her approval to feel good about himself, because that's the man she's going to want to be with. The 3-week rule: does it really take 21 days for her to feel something? Alright, let's tackle this myth head on. The so-called 3-week rule, you've probably heard it before. Some people claim it takes 21 days for a woman to develop feelings. But here's the harsh truth. That's complete nonsense. And if you're sitting there counting days, waiting for her to magically fall for you, you're wasting your time. Let's be real for a second. Feelings don't work like a microwave timer. You can't just punch in 21 days and expect her to be emotionally invested. If anything, this rule is just another way for men to overcomplicate things and avoid taking responsibility for their own actions. Here's the wake-up call. If she's not showing interest, it's not because the 21-day mark hasn't hit yet. It's because you're not giving her a reason to feel something. And no, I'm not talking about buying her gifts, showering her with compliments, or trying to be her therapist. I'm talking about the energy you're bringing to the table. Let's break it down. If you're spending 3 weeks being overly available, constantly seeking her attention and bending over backward to impress her, what do you think she's going to feel? Attraction? No. She's going to feel bored, maybe even suffocated. Why? Because you're not challenging her. You're not making her wonder about you. You're just another guy trying too hard. Here's the criticism. Too many men are stuck in this mindset of, if I just wait long enough, she'll like me. But that's not how it works. Women don't develop feelings based on how long you've been around. They develop feelings based on how you make them feel when you are around. And if you're not bringing confidence, purpose, and authenticity to the table, no amount of time is going to change that. So, what should you do instead? Stop counting days and start focusing on the quality of your interactions. Be present, be engaging. Be someone who adds value to her life, not someone who's just waiting for her to validate yours. Here's the advice. Wake up. Stop hiding behind these arbitrary rules and timelines. If you want her to feel something, be the kind of man who inspires those feelings. Be the man who's confident, grounded, and unshakable. Be the man who doesn't need her to like him to feel good about himself. Because here's the truth. When you stop worrying about the timeline and start focusing on being the best version of yourself, the feelings will come naturally. And if they don't, that's okay too. Because you're not here to win her over, you're here to live your life. And that's what truly matters. Her feelings are a mirror. What you project is what you get. Let's end this with a truth bomb. Her feelings for you are often a reflection of what you're projecting. If she's not developing feelings, it's not because she's hard to get or playing games. It's because what you're putting out there isn't inspiring those feelings. And if that stings a little, good, it means you're ready to hear this. Here's the deal. Women are emotional mirrors. They reflect back the energy you give them. If you're insecure, needy, or overly eager, she's going to feel that and it's going to turn her off. But if you're confident, grounded, and self-assured, she is going to feel that too and it's going to draw her in. Think about it. When you're around a woman, what energy are you bringing? Are you calm and collected, or are you nervous and fumbling? Are you focused on enjoying the moment, or are you obsessing over whether she likes you? Because here's the thing, she can feel that energy. And it shapes how she feels about you. Let's get real for a second. If you're constantly seeking her approval, trying to impress her, or bending over backward to make her happy, what are you really saying? You're saying, I don't think I'm enough as I am. And guess what? If you don't believe you're enough, she's not going to believe it either. Here's the criticism. Too many men blame women for not developing feelings, but they never stop to look at themselves. They'll say things like, she's just not into me, or she's playing hard to get, without ever asking the real question, what am I doing to inspire those feelings? Here's the wake-up call. If you want her to feel something, you have to be something. You have to be the kind of man who inspires respect, admiration, and emotional connection. You have to be the kind of man who doesn't need her to like him to feel good about himself. So, what does that look like in practice? It means showing up as your best self every single time. It means being confident in your intentions, clear in your communication, and unshaken by her reactions. It means leading with purpose, not desperation. For example, let's say you're on a date and she's a little quiet or reserved. The average guy might panic, start overcompensating, or try to fill the silence with meaningless chatter. But the man who understands this principle, he stays calm. He doesn't take her mood personally. He knows his worth isn't tied to her reactions, and he's comfortable just being himself. And that's the key. When you're comfortable in your own skin, she's going to feel comfortable around you. When you're confident in who you are, she's going to feel confident in her feelings for you. And when you're leading with purpose, she's going to want to follow. Here's the bottom line. Her feelings aren't random. They're a response to the energy you're putting out. If you want her to feel something, stop focusing on her and start focusing on yourself. Be the kind of man who naturally inspires those feelings. Because at the end of the day, it's not about her, it's about you. It's about becoming the best version of yourself and letting everything else fall into place. And when you do that, the feelings will come. Not because you chase them, but because you earn them. Let's end this with a statement that might ruffle some feathers. If a woman hasn't developed feelings for you, it's not because she's complicated or hard to read. It's because you haven't given her a reason to. Harsh? Maybe. But sometimes the truth isn't pretty. The reality is women don't owe you their feelings. They don't owe you their time, their attention, or their affection. If you want those things, you have to earn them. And that starts with becoming the kind of man who inspires those emotions naturally. Not through games, not through manipulation, but through authenticity, confidence, and purpose. So, here's my challenge to you. Stop blaming her. Stop overthinking. And start taking responsibility for the energy you're bringing to the table. Be the man who doesn't just attract feelings but keeps them. Now, I want to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever struggled with this? Have you ever felt like you were doing everything right but she just wasn't feeling it? Or maybe you've had a breakthrough moment where everything clicked. Share your experiences below. I read every single comment and I'll be reaching out to connect with some of you directly, because at the end of the day, this isn't just about understanding women, it's about understanding yourself. And when you get that right, everything else falls into place. Thank you for watching. See you later. See you